Good afternoon all. Goedemiddag. Another minute, we'll get started. Pronounce Juan over here, not Juan, but Juan. Hi, Juan. Welcome. Yeah, just to start. If you're brand new to the trading room, it's quite simple. It's like a forum. We interact, ask questions. You can, you can chat. Just unmute or whatever and chat, or you how's it? Or you can chat in the chat line. We're all here to help each other, but it's very important that we assist each other. In other words, if you're not sure, ask. That's what it's here for. Again, I have this perennial problem of people sit there, don't interact, and then they come to the chat room and ask a question to be explained on a message system when it could be easily and far better explained verbally on the Zoom with the chart up in front. If you can't understand the chart up in front, how can I expect me to explain it on the chat line? You know what I mean? So very important. And I welcome these questions because often the questions asked, others didn't think to ask or didn't know the question to ask and could clarify something that's been bugging somebody there and who weren't sure why, where, or what. So it's very important. Okay, here we are, 4 o'clock. Now, I'm going to start off with Microsoft. There's a good reason, a couple of things I want to discuss to start off with, Microsoft. Now, as mentioned this morning, you have a stop loss in the TP and they're buy or sell orders. Okay, they're opposite to your entry order. And the thing is, the market is closed, and that's why the details of how the earnings came out well on the good afternoon Friday, because obviously you can listen to this, because you're like myself in Microsoft. Right, and yeah, so what happens after the market's closed, they announce the earnings, and they were very much better. So everyone said you're going to have a big jump on it, which we clearly did. The problem is, if your stop loss might have been at 280, I don't know where it was, didn't really matter. But that's not the relevance because there's no sellers because the market opened up at 295, I think it was. Well, I don't know, somewhere like that. Anyway, but anyway, shot up. So there was no buyers and sellers where that stop loss was. So clearly you got out, those who did, including myself, at a higher price. So I was a nice fat profit. And then they came out with these earnings after us. I can do nothing about it. I had to wait till it opened. And clearly it jumped out, knocked me out, but not at my stop loss, way above it. So even though if the market had been open and released, I'd been stopped out my stock, but it wasn't, it only got out on opening. So just always remember your stop loss is a buy or sell order, assuming somebody else is going to buy or sell it at that price. When the markets are open, the liquidity is so huge, that's going to happen. But if it happens after hours and it closes there and it opens up there after hours, that's no good to you because that is the price opening. Your stop might have been here, it might have been, it's irrelevant. That's when the buyer sellers came back in, and that's I was exited my hit somewhere there. And of course, from a nice fat nearly 3 grand profit, I took about 1,800-1,900 rand loss in it. It happens, something like that, but I don't know much as that. But anyway, the point is, it wasn't pretty. But that's what you have to accept when it comes after hours. And I just wanted to mention that the stop loss in the TP is a buy or sell order, and no buyers and sellers around. Clearly, yeah, it's not going to get triggered. A lot of people say, oh, it's going to open up. Great. Can we take advantage? Of course you can't, because the market is closed. Now, that bridges me on to the next thing. A lot of guys we all do, are looking for what we call a high return no-brainer. If you want a no-brainer in the bank, but the trouble is returns are very low. If you want to go and get a high return, you've got to go out the no-brainer sort of situation. Now, I'm not sure he's on at the moment. You might join me later. He came up and said, maybe we can look at maybe buying or selling the non-farm report next week, because the jobless claims are up, and maybe that means that the non-farm will be up, and we can buy it and make a buck in, say that much. But I'm probably sure that's what they're inferring. Bring it up now is this continual need. When I started, but try and work hard in getting rid of this continual need of the no-brainer, the easy one. Remember, to make the market work, you have to have a buyer and a seller. You might say that's obvious, but we forget the fact you've got to have someone taking the counterparty, the opposite position. If it's an obvious buy, you won't be able to buy it because nobody's going to sell it to you. Nobody. Your house, Mr. Joe Soap, Mr. Joe John Smith, is going to go up by 20% tonight. I would like to buy that off you because I want to make 20%. Mr. John's going to say, no, sorry ways. I'm holding on to it because I want to make that 20%. You get the idea? Or the vice versa. If you know it's going to come down, you can't get out of it because somebody else won't buy it off you. And that's the point I'm trying to get. Stop looking for the no-brainer. If you want no-brainer, put your money in the bank and earn 4 or 5% or whatever it is. If you want the high returns, you've got to take a strategic viewpoint, which comes with experience and learning, and that's what you're here for. So the quicker you get rid of the no-brainer attitude, sometimes you get lucky. But lucky is blows your hair back, go to the casino. But unfortunately, you've got to have somebody take the counterparty. So every time you buy, say it again and again, I'll keep saying it, sorry guys, I did it before, there's got to be somebody who thinks you're wrong. That's why they're buying it off you. If I'm buying it off somebody, he's selling it to me. Why is he selling? Because he thinks it's going to go down. I think he's wrong. That's why I'm buying it. When you're selling it, somebody's buying it off you. So clearly you think it's going to go down. That's why you're selling it. He thinks or she thinks it's going to go up. If you know it's going to go up, it's a no-brainer. You won't be able to get out because you won't have a counterparty to take it off your hands. Try and understand that. So I come back to non-farm payrolls. We will be doing a straddle trade on the 5th, opening at 2 o'clock. Show you how to do it. Show you how to do it here if you like. We've got some spare moments. And then we'll do the mechanics. I'll go over again at 2 o'clock, and we must be ready and understand it fully and place the order just before 2:30 on the market release. Because I don't care what the ADP said on Wednesday, the jobless claim said on Thursday, we don't know what will happen when it's released. We often have fun together when I was in the office before COVID, where we'd have maybe someone bets and it's going to be higher, someone bets it's going to be lower, or whatever. Guess what? It's all in fun. You don't know until the data is released. Don't try and get cute and say, oh, by the way, what do you think? Or, what does so-and-so think? It's irrelevant. You don't know until it is released. It might be as you expect it, it might not. And that's why we have what we call the straddle trade, which if we have time, you're interested, I'll explain it later on, where you can take advantage of it, goes up or down. That's the idea. Don't try and get cute or ask opinions, because especially if the guy's experienced, he might give you that opinion or she might give you that opinion. That's dangerous because now you'll have a bias to say, you're going to buy on that one, and it turns around, the opposite happens, and you're going to be upset because it could move very quickly in the opposite direction. So we'll overcome that by explanation. Okay, I hope that's all clear. Okay, what else have I written down? Yeah, I mentioned about the Microsoft stop loss. Remember the buy and sell, hope you understood that. The straddle trade and getting rid of this no-brainer attitude. Everybody wants to take, everyone's risk averse and profit excessive interest. In other words, that's goes against the laws of physics, basically. You know what I'm saying? If a higher return, okay.
I agree with you, it's against the law of physics, but in the end of the day, all of us are here to make some money based on logic, assumptions, and analytical ability to look at the trends. So after all these years, like what happened now, that the stop loss been jumped with Microsoft. I mean, this is now the 5th out of 6 trades that happen exactly the same with me. And every time it is, not always, but 3 times it was with the results coming out. Is it better than just to close before the day before they announce it? Because I cannot bark with the big dogs.
Yeah, I agree. I'll be honest, maybe a little bit my fault that I'd forgotten it was coming out. I forgot I was talking about something else. I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, I can't keep an eye on the whole market in mitigation, but I completely forgot. I even forgot the modified stop loss. And after I thought about that, don't do any good anyway. So yeah, it might have been an idea to risk take it. You'd be highly fed up if it came 7% down instead of the other way around, and you missed out. But it's better than that maybe than take it or not. But I forgot to mention, if you get a big earnings coming out like that in a fat profit, probably just before you close the damn thing, yeah. You take the risk of missing out, but certainly alleviate the risk of seeing your profit disappear. Absolutely, yes, correct. That's 7%. Remember, that's 7% of the price. We're in derivatives, we're in leverage trading. If you're in 100 to 1 on shares in a 21 leverage, so that's 7 times 20, it's 140%. You get the idea. This leverage trading is very fast. That's why you have to have your seatbelt on and all the other aspects when you're driving the fast car. 7%, it went up by 7%, but that's the equity price. You're on a 20 to 1 leverage because you only put a 5% deposit down. So you're going to multiply that 7 by 20. You get the idea. Remember, you buy a £1 million house, you put 100 grand deposit down. The house only goes up by 10%. You've doubled your money because you invest a million, you only invest 100 grand. But if the house price goes down by 10%, you're wiped because you lost your 100 grand. And people, I'm telling you, right, the majority of people do not understand the basic mathematics of leverage, yet they're in it. Like I say, overseas, Europe, I know the UK for a fact, and certainly America, you've got to take certain little questionnaires, a test, maybe a sort test, certainly not exam, to make sure you understand the pros and cons of leverage. We all know how fast the Lamborghini can drive, but you do know if you have a crash, you probably get more damage in that crash at 300 Ks than you will on your slow bicycle, or you just might graze your foot if you fall off it. You get the general idea. And it's just got to be aware. We're too focused on, hey, we're going to make big bump, but we forget what we're going to put in. Discussed with somebody earlier on. We're fascinated about what we want, but we're not interested in what we have to give to what we want. And it's a concept that just doesn't seem to people are getting. If you want the higher, you've got to risk the higher. There's no ways around it. And yeah, you're quite right, Farney. Something like that happens. You got to say, am I going to take the risk, get stopped down the loss, or if it comes right, I'm going to have a quick fat profit? You've got to ask yourself that question. If you don't want to take that risk, then close the damn thing and profit. To be honest, I completely forgot about it, to be honest. You talked about it, etc. Something else came on. And yes, something else came on it. Paul went, or a question was asked, or I looked at something else, and I forgot. I've sometimes I send out trade signals and go into it. Why am I not going to it? Because I bloody well forgot. I got the trading coming up, and the call came in. By the time I went and forgot to put the signal, the ship has sailed. I'm not in the Euro GBP because I missed the damn thing. Happens, but that's part of the game. I've been around a bit, so that's okay. It's just getting people to understand these basics, which, as you say, get dispirited. That's the initial area. I'm trying to sort of clarify that. I want to come back to another question asked just before we started the trading room from Nikki, and it wasn't that clear what you were talking about there. So could you illustrate? Now I've got all the charts open to try and assist you on that question. Okay, Nikki? Nikki Lau, that is. If I pronounce that probably Low or Lau.
Hi, Roger.
Hi.
Good, and you?
Good.
I just wanted to ask for one of the questions that I had. I've heard something in the classes about, for example, if you're making a profit in the Euro GBP or the CHF GPY, then you can move your stop loss to secure that profits just in case it starts going against you. I've heard about it, but I don't know how to do it. Could you show how to move your stop loss?
Yeah, okay. Number one, everybody before they come to the trading room should have a basics, as Marnie say, and they should all be able to know how to operate the platform. I'm going to show you now, it won't take long, but my job is not to teach platform trading unless they ask me to fill in something like Clinton's on leave or whatever. I'll fill in the Saturday morning or whatever, okay? But the point is, you can't come in, we can come in here down, I'm not knocking, I'm just saying, people must, before you even go to Forex class, they must know how to operate the platform. Because it's no good getting a trade signal down to place it. It's no good asking the broker. His job is not take time off from trade ideas and advice and explanations to teach you platform trading. That's why we have platform training. You've got to know how to enter, tap your position, how to modify, close, and all those things. There's a lot more details involved. Probably I don't know all myself, you know, but you need to know the basics of how to operate it. And I'll show you quickly how to do it. It's quite simple. Won't take long, but try and make a habit of learning this. I want to move the stop loss on here, right? You don't move it away from the price. I'm going short here. So if I move this away, I'm doing the wrong thing. I must move it towards. Now, I've already modified it because it hit the round figure to 30 pips away. It's getting a bit close, so I'll leave it where it is. But just for the purposes, I'm going to show you how to do it. Remember, don't move your stop away. You're increasing risk. It's only towards. You'll start the mechanics of it. You double click where it says stop loss. Then you go in there and you put, shall we say you want to put 0, 6, 5, maybe you want to put 6, 5, 20 in or something like that. Closer, not away. Then you click the modify, and then that will immediately change the new one. I'll do one quickly for you, in fact, okay? I'm moving away to show you, because I got really close, it's pretty close anyway. You don't make a habit of just showing you, for example, here, 65.80 for argument's sake. I'm moving at 65.80, click on there, and you see it's changed, and it's automatically recorded in the system. So people says, oh, stop that, shouldn't be. Well, we've seen you modify. Oh, I didn't. Well, we see clearly you have. That will have been, that's shown in the history of the system, right? So then I want to change it back to, I'll change back to the original one. So I go 0.6530. But again, guys, you must know how to operate the trading. We've got people who learn how to trade, not people who want to know how to press the button. That's supposed to be done. That's the responsibility of the trader. We have, this is one of the few brokers that actually do that. Most brokers don't do that. Assume you know how to operate yourself or play around and find out yourself. That's what people play around the demo for, to practice and learn how to operate it. We actually have classes on it. You need to know how to operate. Don't call a broker and I don't know how to modify. And then they can say, what the hell are you trading? I've had guys say, how do I exit my position? Would you get in the car and not know how to stop the car? It's not good. Okay, so you must know how to operate it. Right, now, as in modifying, it's not quite, like most things in life, it's not simple as in the theory. In practice, it's a bit of a tightrope walk. You don't want it to get too close. And you say, should we work on 30 pips? Well, if it's the, let's say it's an index, probably not, it's more volatile. Euro dollar, well, sometimes more volatile, you might need 40 pips. Someone's like NGAS, it might be, won't use, that's a bad example, that's commodity. Euro JPY for the last week has been very quiet. Maybe you could do 30 pips. It depends on the volatility of this specific instrument. Okay, but again, I go back, I don't know what you learn, don't think that's finance theory, but in practice, you mustn't modify too close. If you do, you're going to get knocked out and you come back to the same problem where guys are winning trades and making peanuts, losing big time because they normally wait till they're stopped out and that hits the target of the stop loss, but they're so scared it's going to be taken away from them that they grab it too quick. It doesn't mean you blindly hold on to the TP and leave the stop in a negative. No, you modify, but you must keep a distance. Why is my distance 15 pips? Because that was originally the round figure. I was thinking of actually cutting my position or closing it entirely because I thought it might be a bounce. But it's pretty weak at the moment, the Canadian. Seem to be following the dollar. The dollar's pretty weak. So I thought, what the hell? I'll make a fat profit to get stopped out. So I put it 30 pips away from the entry. And if it does get stopped out, I'm smiling. I've already cut it. I've not 0.15, 0.1. Cut it down to 5 already and let it run. So I made a great profit out of it. This is one of the EJS ones, by the way. Did a fantastic job out of it. So fair enough. If it breaks through, I'll just carry on. It's not fair enough. Now, the other thing is I mentioned there about cutting the position. You have to close the entire position. I'm not sure people are getting this either. I want to close this part of this position. I start at 0.15 down to 5. Let's say I pretend I want to close part of it. Double click on the volume. I'm going to type if you want, but not SLTP clearly. And this comes up. Instead of clicking the close button, what shall I close? I think I'm going to close 0.02. There we are. 0.02. I'll then hit that button there. And then immediately that will change to 0.03 and I'm bank 2. So that's also important. But again, if you don't know how to operate the platform, you can't trade. It's as simple as that. I've just bought you a lovely Lambo. Here's a birthday present to you guys. No good to you because you can't drive it. Okay, so you need to know how to operate the platform. Hope that's all clear. Okay, happy with that, and not too close. Right now, I don't know what side. Let's take, but won't use money because we use pips. Okay, you're 10 pips in profit. Okay, I'm moving the stop loss to entry. No, it's too close. Oh, I'm 10 pips up. Ooh, it's coming off now. I'm now only 8 pips up. I better take the profit. No, it's too close. Give the trade a chance. Look at the minute trade. Up and down, up and down. That's the noise. So you don't want to be just going in. And when you're first starting, it's totally understandable. I think we all do. You go into panic-stricken mode. You don't think, you know, I've got a lovely house, lovely car, lovely income, etc. And only starting to give it a shot with a couple of grand, and you're down 20 rand. All proportion goes out the window. Emotion takes them. Oh, it's going to the red. It was in the green just now. Maybe I should take it. What do I do now? No, take a step back. You've got your stop in. You did your position size with the calculator correctly. Let the trade give it a shot. Give it a run. To get stopped out, it's not going to harm you because you've worked out your correct volume. If it's going in your favor, then just grab it, modify it. You don't have to modify. Let's say you got in at 149 and a 148 stop. Well, you don't have to put it up 10 pips below. You can start reducing the risk. Let's say that's probably a bad example. Let's say your stop was down here. You can maybe modify here. You're still going to make a loss on it, but at least instead of risking 2x, you're only risking 1 rand x, if you get my point. Reducing, but keep the distance. Well, you might get it to entry, but not too quickly as it moves. That's why I'm still in this one. I've kept a bit of a distance. I've closed it lately and banked a little bit, but sure, but I still keep a little bit of a distance, you know, and that's why I'm still in. If I'd left the whole lot running, and in hindsight, I'd been up about 4 grand on that one. But I cut a bit because I didn't know that at the time. And I find that was better because what happens if it went against that hold on the whole lot, instead of making, you know, 3 grand or whatever and it gets stopped out, I might have made 1 grand. That's the way to be looking at it. But it's very difficult. I get that completely, people, when you start, because it's the emotions, because it's so transparent, this gets to you. I'll give an example, I mean so transparent. Nikki, I'm making an assumption you got a house. You have right now, okay. You didn't know this. You know your house has been living the last 10 years. This last week, it's just gone down by 15 grand in value. You don't know. Oh, shame. I wish you hadn't told me now. But you didn't know about it. So it's out of sight, out of mind. This thing is right in your face and it plays havoc. That's why normally I sit there and have the thing down here, out the bloody way. So I'm not staring at it all the time, having my head done in by the reds and blue movements. You're always going to get that. Okay. Even when you've got a full bull or bear market, it's not going to go left, it's fairly straight, but even there, it's a few weeks, buyers and sellers. It's not going to go up the straight line. And remember, when you enter on a signal, the assumption is going to go in your favor immediately. And when it doesn't, you go into panic. No, don't panic. You know you got 3 grand, you know you've risked 250, you know you can handle a 250, you know you got more money to put in your account anyway, just trying out with 3 grand. It's 250. It's the price of a beer and a hamburger or something. I can handle it. So I'm down 50 bucks. Let it go. Okay, now I'm down 20. That's all right. Now I'm up 50. That's all right. Oh, take it. No. And then they're down 20. No, then you're up 30. Then you're down. Now you're back in red. Oh, let it run. Once you're up maybe, 30, 40 pips, then maybe move it to entry or whatever. But try and understand in perspective in your head. When I go in, I've written that money off in my head. So I'm thinking rationally and clearly. It's still, and this is the major thing, unfortunately, with the mind. And I'm sorry, we're not all unique in that way. We all have that fear inside us, and everyone reacts the same way when they start. It's a given, and that's why I'm going to bring Marnie again. She wants to take it seriously. If you're a disciplined person, even if you're clever, you still be disciplined to get a degree in engineering or anything really. So she's taken on saying, well, it took me a while to be an engineer. Why should this take 5 minutes? I'm going to do this and I'm doing it professionally. And then just fit and do it with your, all right, engineering are more rational, to be fair, than artists, if you like. But still, that's got to be sort of, your head's got to be around and put in perspective. Okay, because as I said, I talk in here, I go through this and through it. And again, the people do the same thing. Because they're not getting the concept in their head that they're being run by their emotions. You always have those emotions, but please put them in perspective. I'm highly fed up. I lost 10 rand, but hang on a minute. Is that really going to change my life? You know what I'm saying? If it's going to change your life, don't go for it. You know what I mean? Okay, someone can't join the Zoom. Put it like that. Never mind. Okay, yeah, ask a couple of questions. That's going to answer on that. It's a pity you can't. Okay, where is it? Okay, so those things I think I might be bringing up more often is you're not going to, this is a business, you do not learn this business in 5 minutes. Tell me a business you can, we'll give this up and go and do it. No, and you do need to put in the, initially it's easy to get on like anything else, but the first part, unfortunately, is the grind time. And yeah, and that's why we're trying to get you to realistically achieve your goals, but you can't if you're going with this idea that I'm going to go in a wing and a prayer and hope for the best, and here we go. Okay, it's very, very important. Yeah, Leonie, massive move. I think it might start coming off now. I tell you something else, go back to that one again. It might start coming off now. I tell you why. Gives you, let's pretend, finally brought this up. Let's pretend he was long on this one and it jumped that high. I want Fani to be honest with me. You would probably either half your position, I'm sure you can modify your stop, but you might be tempted to take it, especially as you see it start to pull back. You jumped up, it's right up here now, it starts to pull back. Be honest, Fani, and everybody out there, would you take that, would you bank it or just hold on?
I will minimize my volume by selling off, and then I'll bring up the stop loss to say, all right, I'll still have a good profit, but I'm willing to have the price drop from the maximum to around about $4 or $5.
Got it. Okay, well, that's a more professional approach, done it before. But even so, you cut your position. You still sold some. There's going to be a hell of a lot of guys out there who panic. They think Christmas is coming early and immediately close it. That's selling. So this, often when that happens, the reason why it pulls back a bit, you sometimes take advantage of actually, is because people say, bloody hell, this is too good, don't let it take away from me, and then immediately go and close it. You might, because you're learning, you know what I'm saying? But I tell you what, people starting off, and they saw that, so this is bloody wonderful. Hang on, you start coming off again, they'll panic and close it immediately, bang, bang, bang. Believe me, I've done that myself. Not lately, but in the past. Of course I have, we all do. What all those people are doing, they're selling. That creates a pullback. So sometimes it's worth maybe looking, this could get a pullback. It's risky, but that's been pushed up. Look at this, $21 on opening, $21. That's a hell of a return on a $300 share. It works about 7.5, didn't exactly plus minus. There's likely to be some short sellers pulling it down, some profit takers pull it down. It might come off. I'm not saying you should jump in. I'm going to be honest, I have for those reasons. But it is a risky way of doing it. But I'm just saying on that likelihood, it might pull back from there. But if I'm wrong and it goes up again, you'll be happy with me. So I said on my RPF, I actually done just that. But if you're just smarting, you're just being bangly kicked, I would suggest get your head right before you jump and get cute with it. You don't want to go up again, take another smack. Then you're going to get emotion. You lose confidence, you get despondent. It's a human factor will kick in again. Very, very difficult to not overcome that. Okay. Within quiet moments outside trades, I think we might spend some time for everybody, spiritual, whatever, is the psychological side of this, because it's without doubt the biggest bugbear of this sort of lot. It's a lot simpler, Marnie, than getting an engineering degree. Trust me, a lot simpler. No, trust me, I've got an engineering degree, but I can guess because I know people who have. But that's not the difficult part here. The difficult part is getting that psych sorted as quickly as possible. It took me a while because nobody taught me, nobody told me whatever. I'm putting an old head's man on the younger, newer shoulders here to get a hold of that understanding, because that's where it's at. Not on the demo. That teaches you diddly because there's no emotion. Take out the emotions, you learn squat and training, to be honest. Very important. And you can be successful because if you get those aspects right, the discipline, the patience, and understanding those sort of things, it doesn't take long. And you still do it occasionally. Still do. Modify too closely, grab it too quickly. That's why you see me here. I don't see what's happening on my trade at the moment. I just put it out of the way because it plays with your head. And I'm doing for a while, it plays with mine. So play with yours, I guarantee it. Okay, now to take a break for a second, we'll put on the dollar index. A few new guys here. Please copy and paste the dollar index. You don't want excuses say, I didn't know what happened to DXY when it's there in front of you. Keep an eye on it. We can miss it some, we forget, but try and keep an eye on the economic calendar. See if any major fundamentals, 3-star preferably, come up before you enter. We just get an interest rate rise in half an hour on I don't know, the pound, the euro, Japanese, whatever it happens to be. You don't want to go into a euro or Japanese job because it could come back and bite. You might have a happy win and a big jump in your favor, but then it might not. And if you've got limited amounts of money, which unfortunately seem to be the way in South Africa, that people got very limited amounts of money because the problems we got over here, a hectic smack like that can really not destroy the confidence and destroy your account. So just respect it and say, don't go in and if major fundamentals coming out. Yeah. So keep that. I think you all got my number. I'll put it up again. Sorry, give me a second. Roger Trading Support. WhatsApp, please. It's quicker that way. If it needs more detail, I'll phone you. Don't you worry about it. From the recorded line, it's another number. This is what you contact me on. Remember, I've got a head of a lot of guys to look after, etc. So basically, keep it on point, and only when you got 500 rand or more in your account, not on demos. If you're on a demo, I can't help you. And if you've got $150 or $2.5 grand or more, I'll upload you to my VIP group. Okay, so there you know. The reason we're doing that, trying to encourage people to get some sort of balance in their account. Again, the emotions taking over. They want to start with a tiny amount to make it. On a tiny amount, your chance amount, we probably brutally honestly, very little. Very little. You're competing in a $1 trillion market with basically a pea shooter. You can't diversify. You can't. Most of the trades you can't go in without overexposing. You just not got the ammunition. If you want to do it, as I said before, you need knowledge. You get experience from here. Okay, keep yourself informed. But you need knowledge. You need the right equipment, and you need capital. That's why it's called a capitalist system. Remember that. And you need internet. Some guys haven't got a decent internet, or they can't afford to go on to Zoom and learn. It takes up too much internet. If that is the case, you're in the wrong business. And they say, well, I don't want to go back to doing what I did before. Well, somehow borrow, steal, I don't know, get the buckaroos and do it properly, because you don't. The couple of bucks you got will go the same way as the previous couple of bucks, because you've not got the right equipment to do the job. It's like I was trying to empty a swimming pool with a teaspoon. You know, you've got to get this something for nothing, dream out of your head, and get down to doing this thing properly. Then you'll come successful. It is not a quick way to become a surgeon, get the money as a surgeon by doing a 3-day medical aid course. It's not, that's not how it works. Okay. The next thing, remember that there's no such thing as a no-brainer. You know, if it's a no-brainer, forget it. You know, it's just if you think, oh yeah, of course, yeah, the jobless claims are way above expected. That means the non-farms can be way above. You take part of this, do a fat buy on the dollar, and the non-farms come out and it's completely the opposite, it's way down. Immediate move, you've overexposed and bang. If it's a no-brainer, put your money in a bank and sit there and get 5% per year. That's a no-brainer. If you want higher returns, you need skill, you need capital, you need knowledge, you need the equipment. And that's what we try to provide here. But I can't help a person if they have unrealistic expectations. The want principle, I call it. Don't want to give, but I want. Get the point. Very important. As a guy once said, I say it again, you get what you want. If you can help others to get what they want, you'll get what you want. You're not sure what I want, you want me to help to get what you want. In return, I'll get what I want. A smiling face. A happy chappy. These are very, very, very important basics. Okay. Dominic, how many books you read on bloody bonds about stochastics? Well, I've just said that is very important. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Let's look at a couple of trades we're in at the moment. We'll start off the CAD. Give me a second. AUD CAD. By the way, the WTI, so I jumped the gun, hit the TP in the end. Took its time to get there. I think it took about a week or so to get there, but he got the 76.40 TP in the end. Got there in the end. Took its time, but it got there. So this shows, eh? That was most people already out of it. AUD, CAD. Bit of jips hovering around the 0.9. Came up, we've got to shorten this one around about the 9 level. Came off, popped up, went up, then it came down again. It's on the 15. That's a day. Sorry, guys. On the 15 minutes, been jumping around about a 14 pip range. So it's a bit quiet, but it's jumping around, but it's not a big deal there. Euro GBP 36. Some guys have got it already. The trade idea is slightly higher at 50 on the long. Euro GBP. So if you're in 50 or at 36, it's in profit. That's good. Too quick to move your stop. If you go on 88.36 and you want to maybe bring it up to entry, you can. If you've got 88.50 too close, don't bother, let it run. If you want to, by the way, reduce your risk by moving your stop loss up maybe 25 pips where it is now, I have no problem with that, but don't get to entry. It's too close. See how it runs. CHF JPY is giving us some jip. It really is. Not quite sure what the problem is here. Doing beautifully earlier on, right up to 150.48 about a couple of hours ago or so. 150.50 in fact, a couple of hours ago. Now it's coming on. Jumping around. That's where you have your stop loss, you have your view, you have your strategy. That's the noise. Don't look at it all the time. Don't let it get to your head. You might come back tomorrow morning and find us at 151. You don't know. Let the thing run. Okay. No, I don't know. I think it's just noise, to be honest. And we say erratic. How erratic is it? That's quite erratic, I must admit. 75 pips in, how long is that? What, 1 hour to, it's 3 hours. It's quite a lot, I must admit. I actually don't know. Nothing major come out. Japanese, they should be asleep at the moment. It's about 9 hours ahead of us, 8, 9, wherever it is. They should be asleep. Swiss francs, nothing. I don't think about Swiss franc doing anything particular. Somebody else has picked out something, spotted something, now just jumping around. Maybe it's on the sympathy of the dollar or something. I don't know. It's my guess as good as yours. But all I know is we got it in. Let's see if it can bounce up again. Okay, but it's doing brilliant before. Let's see what happens. So one's in a profit, one's just a little bit less than break even. This one's what do we get in at? Yeah, about round figure, 20 odd pips down. It's still not a drastic situation. 20 pips is not a hell of a lot. You've got to stop there, quite a tight stop. A lot of ours are going to 100 pip stops. So you're planning on a 20 pip negative, you shouldn't be trading because you have the stops 100. Or better still, you've got your calculator and you worked it out. So you said, all right, let's put the stop loss in at so and so. It gives you, let's pretend, I don't know, 150 rand a micro, and you can afford 300. You go with 2 micros, fair enough. And then you say, prepare to lose that. So you're down 80 bucks. So to be up 80 bucks, but you've still got some way to go, see what happens. But it continues down, stops you out. If it continues down, trade after trade after trade, then let's have a look at this. This is ridiculous. But if you say, well, hang on a minute, I've lost on this one, but I won the last 2 trades. Hang on, I lost 100 rand on this last trade, hit the stop loss, but I made 80 rand last 3 trades. Well, clearly, the winning is being beaten by the loss because, again, you're getting out too damn quickly. You're not giving the trade, the winning a chance. We're so scared of loss that we it might be taken away from us, we get out too quickly, and we can't take the loss when it comes because we hope it's going to come right. So we modify a stop away, it's got to come right, and we get into the financial dwangers up. This is, guys, come to trading room, trust me, this is the major players who never come, more money, think they know more, let them run. Don't need to tell you that. You're happy on your own? Often say that. Don't need you, happy on your own. If I put it on the QT group, they'll take the solo off. Don't you? Who you are? So it's fair enough. And I look at them and I thought, yeah, here we go. Same story. Then they start to get margin called. What they do then is they put more money in, no stop loss, more money in, more money in. Well, they know better. Okay, fair enough. Until they cry and they say, hang your bloody company, they lost me this, that, and the other. No, they didn't. You did. Okay, I can't say that. It's a bit hectic. That last thing they want to be told is that, but that's 9% of the reason. Driver error, basically. Lack of patience, lack of basic understanding. That's why you come here. If that all makes sense, Marnie, because I get the impression already after a month, I think it's about a month to be with us, you're applying that already. And you're doing okay, even though you're underexposed. You're playing it correctly, learning, and you seem to be doing okay. Can you imagine you're correctly exposed, not over, but correctly exposed, even better. Loud and clear, that's the point. So rule number one, forget about no-brainers. Rule number two, you're not going to get your Ferrari by the end of the year unless you've got a large amount of money, and then you could probably buy cash anyway. Okay. But anyway, Vicky, go back to your question. Don't know. Someone else found something or seen something. Enlighten us. But I don't know. Something else important as well. If you don't know, a lot of people can't do that. They cannot say, I don't know. So they think they better wing it and make up some story. Well, no, it doesn't work. I've been in the trading a bit, and I've seen a lot of guys do that. And I see they're winging it. They don't know, and they won't admit it. So they start, well, quite frankly, talking nonsense. If you don't know, say so. And there's people like Farney around. I'm not embarrassing, but I'm embarrassing anyway. He's a clever guy. If I start trying that on, Farney will pick me up. My credibility will go down the bloody plug quickly. And so, Roger, that makes no sense. What are you on about here? That's contradiction. And, you know, it's my chimney cricket, Mr. Murray there, and he'll pull me apart. You know what I'm saying? So, and probably Anna Marie and a few other guys there who've been around. So, no, if you don't know, something say so. Don't try and make it up. People do that, but they get caught, especially turn someone knows what they're talking about. They'll pick you up very quickly. Oh, I'm a doctor. Oh, yeah, a couple of questions later, you realize the person is not. You know, don't try and get cute. And the beauty is, you don't know, somebody else might. The beauty is, you might learn something. Hey, I didn't know that. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Those are trades we got out the most. Good news is WTI hit the TP. So just I've been there about a week. So how long are you going to be in a trade? Well, in this case, about a week. Can't remember. I think I actually do. I've got it written down. We went on the where's the thing? Give me a moment. Written down. Yeah. The 17th. Yeah, just over a week. Been in 9 days. Must have been, it was a weekend in there. Hit the TP. Might have been a day, might have been 2 days. This case was 9 days. We got there in the end. Whether you're on board or not, probably not there anymore, but it doesn't matter. You all made a profit, but still, just shows, hey, give it a chance. Buy a house today and double the price by tomorrow. No, even you know that, you know what I mean? Okay, any questions? Regards to the trades open the moment. Oh, no, we haven't. Sorry, yesterday's, well, no, 24th. Wednesday, Monday's trade, right? NZDJPY, 82.49 was a sell. Let's have a look at this, see how it's doing. 82.49, NZDJPY. Right, that's doing pretty good. 50 down to 65, it's 85 pips in profit. So clearly, if anybody's still in there, they should be modifying the stop. My worry again is a lot of guys are in there are probably already out of it after about 20 pips. It's a pity, but there it is. But anybody still in there, modify your stop. I'd say we put it in the round figure at 82. If you're still in there, you built in a 50 pip profit, thank you very much, or maybe 45, run about that. And then whatever happens, and see if you can get some more out of it. If you don't, you stopped out, fair enough, you made a profit. It could be a lot better. Okay. AUDJPY, we got a sell on that one again on the Tuesday, I think it was, or Monday rather. AUDJPY was at 89.45. That gave us a lot of jip. Here's another one. Here's a good example. This one gave us a lot of hassle when we started this one. It was up. We're down on this one about 30, 40, I think 50, 60, I can't remember. A lot of people are panicking all sorts. We've got our strategy, let it run. You got your protective stop loss. You worked it out to that stop loss. It hadn't reached there yet on the sell. So hang on in there. And those who did, and panic not, will be happily pleased now because at 89.45, it's now 87, call it 88. So it's 145 pips in profit. Look at that difference after the panic. What a pleasure. And it's been down there, so even higher profit at one stage. Anybody still in there? My frightened aspect, probably not anyway. Probably all out. If they have, again, make sure. Make the stop loss at 88.30. You get stopped out, you make a fantastic profit. It keeps on going, you get a superlatively fantastic profit. What a pleasure. See how it is? Okay.
You see, Roger, I raised my stop loss a little bit tight. It knocked me out on 88.25.
Yeah. Okay. But the beauty of that, to be honest, Farney, is the fact you actually admitted it. I cannot help somebody if they don't admit it to themselves. You admit it. So, yeah, you can see that. We can work on that. Yeah, understandable. You learn from it. But it's when you on the phone, they call up, so why do this? You try and explain, they're not getting it. There's nothing I can do. You know, you're a cocaine problem. Oh no, I haven't. I give up any time. No, you can't. It's a drug. Oh no, I can. I can't help the person. It only help them if they want to give the drug up, if you know what I'm saying. Same principle. Yeah, it's continual. It takes a while. I tell you right now, it takes a while. That's why you need sort of this buddy guy sitting here where I am, badgering on and on about it. It's not being harsh or rude or nasty. It's banging it in to say, right, hide the bloody thing and check it now and again. Don't get it too tight. And there are going to be times, damn it, you know, but you'll find in the long run, you'll find you just do better. All right, you should have done that. You made 20, you didn't. Another one 25, you didn't. Then you get the runs like the WTI, NZD, JBY, the GBP, CHF, all these last couple of weeks. They would, if those 4 or 5 we've had, and you run with them properly, would have made about like 10 or 12 of the guys that stopped you out. But no, we're getting out too quick. So no harm in playing around, but it takes a bit of time, yeah. But try and sort of get hold of that paper and not stop looking at it. If you've got the thing in front of you like that, check it now and again, like I'm checking now. But then once you've done that, bring the damn thing down. Okay, it's about to get stopped out. Well, so be it. We'll look at it now. Do I need to shift anything? Let's have a look. Let's have a look now. Go into Microsoft. It's giving me shit, by the way. Yeah, I went back into Microsoft right now. I told you that. Let's look at the other. I think it's this one here. And see, I'm letting that run. Okay. A lot of people panic. Well, I get the stop loss 20 pips now. Lower the stop is 13,150 away. I'm leaving it there. I'm only 80 pips. I get stopped out. I'm letting it run. To be fair, I did cut some of it, to be fair. But anyway, 0.1. I'm still doing okay. I'm letting it run. See my point? This one is giving me jip. I was up, I don't know, a lot more than that just now. I think about 1,000 rand just now. Let it run. I'm not staring at it. I've got the stop loss. I've got everything else. Remember, I've got more than 5K in my account. So I've worked those position size out at 1.5 to 2%, something like that. Somebody, the CAD CHF one was doing, it's still there. Yeah, still there. I went in a 0.05. There you are. It's a tiny bloody one. That is way, way below my exposure, and yet still it's doing okay. You see what I mean? So yeah, don't stare at it. Check it now and again. Need modifying. If not, leave it alone. And if it does, modify it and then hide it again. Right? I think it will play on your head. It really will. Yeah, I obviously still like it, Marnie. I still like it. Let's have a look. It's still doable. First thing to look at it, so go the wrong way, shall we? Yeah, it's round about there. That's another point. They get the signal and it's in your face. They don't know how to work out their volume. Well, you got 0.01, 0.02, 0.03, 0.04. They can't work it out. Or I don't know. Just sure. Anyway, if we say get in at 0.9, it's 0.903. It's a better price. Not much. I get that. It's a better price. If you like the trade, well, clearly I do. You're asking me. That was my trade idea. It was me who said they should send it. So I'm not going to say, no, I think it's bloody rubbish. Of course, I think it's going to be good. And I still think it's okay. Why do I still think it's okay? Look at the daily. It's below this guy here. The Canadian seems to be sympathizing with the American dollar, gained a bit of weakness, but it's still in the sell zone. The 200 is holding, hence the idea of the short. So yes, I do. Sell it round about this price. And you did SL and TP, and you'll find that on the signal, and you'll find you're getting a better price. Now you get it. Now Martin just asked me that, and it's now 0.8985. Then you'd have to put up the calculator, the same stop loss and TP. Let's just do this out of interest. Let's just do this. Where's it gone now? To show what I mean, because this is basic arithmetic. I know people are not getting it. We'll do short, yeah, to a pending order. Let's pretend the price is 0.8985, the one I just mentioned. I will do the same stop loss we had this morning. Where is it now? 91. 0.9127, and the TP was 0.8771. It's scratching. Might just squeeze it, but it's scratching. It's giving you 1.5. Your rules, your money, you do what you like. I'm just suggesting 1.5 or a better when you enter. Below that, I think your risk reward is not good enough. Well, it's only going to matter if you take your profit too quickly. Okay, but that's the sort of risk reward minimum I've been looking at. See a scratching. So I'm going to change the pending order now to 0.8980. So Marnie calls up and she says, I missed that order this morning. Should I take it now? Well, should the person take it now? No, the ship has sailed. Do you understand what I mean? That's below 150. Okay, however, because it's a better price, it's 0.9 as a single, right? But let's make 0.925. Suddenly see it later on. Is that right? Make it 0.9, sorry, 9025. Beg your pardon, get that one. 9 put, bloody hell. Sorry, just give me over here. 0.9025. There we are. Right, could you take that with that stop loss? Obviously, that's wrong way around. Obviously, if that's when she comes to the door, opens up a computer or sees that, should I take it now? Well, if you like the trade at 9, you're going to love it at 9.25 because now instead of getting a 1.7, you get 248. Instead of about 160 bucks, what was the original one? 165 rand a micro. You're getting 135 rand a micro. You're getting a better risk, better price, better everybody thing. You get the point. So that's the sort of basics to look at as well. Look at the signal and say, right, has the ship sailed? Calculator. Better price. Do I like it? If you don't, leave it. If you like it, better price, go for it. What a pleasure. Okay, Ken, no problem. Are we good on that, Marnie? So yeah, I like it, Ken. And he gave you a better price. Anyone who didn't do the CHF JPY, similar principle. Do you believe the Swiss francs from the Japanese yen? Well, look at that chart. Which is the stronger one? Fairly self-explanatory. It's a rhetorical question. It's 100% absolutely bloody obvious. This is the stronger one. It's done a bit of a pullback. So if you missed it at the, whatever it was, what was the entry point? 150. 150. This is 20 pips better price. If you missed it then, absolutely go for it. If anybody's not on the CHF JPY, go for it. Use the same SL and TP, go for it. In fact, you could probably do a wider SL, maybe 149.20 on that one, because you got so much better price. Get the idea. I personally think when you send out the signal, most companies don't. If you get a trader signal, they'll suggest you buy around 150 or better stop loss and TP. That's all they'll do. They won't even put 0.01 in. They assume you've got the nous how to place an order and work it out. We put in not the only 1 micro, up to 4 micros. The problem is you put in 1 micro, people should say, it's 100 rand a micro. They just jump in. Well, why would you do that? You got 10 grand in your account. Why would you want to do 1 micro? You can risk 600 rand, 500 rand. Why not go for 5 micros? You get the point. And I'm convinced it's none of the intelligence or lack of it. It's just a flurry of new to it, not known, panic, emotion, etc. So when you get a trading signal, look at it. You shouldn't have to do any more. Let's go to the mailbox. Let's get a trading signal here to show you what I mean. Just make sure all get the maths on this. Right, let's take this one here. You shouldn't need this 234. That should be all you need. Sorry, this is what you look at, 150. It's 150 a micro. That's all the information you need. What do you want to risk? 75 bucks, you can't take the trade. You want to risk 250? Well, you can't go for 2 micro, it's above. So you've got to go for 1. That is not bloody difficult. And Marnie, if you can't do that, I don't know how you got an engineering degree. You know what I'm saying? Get my point? So you shouldn't need all these 2s, 3s, and 4s. That, to me, we're over dumbing it down. If you can't work it out with that on that alone, I'm worried if this should be the right business for you. You know what I mean? I want to go become a mathematician and I want to be an electronic engineer, and I'm battling 10 times 10 in my head. I'm wondering if that's really the correct career path. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's got to, these sort of things, if you're battling with that, trust me, derivatives market, listen to Bloomberg, is a bit more involved in working out, I want 500 risk. How do I get my volumes from that information? You get my point. I'm not being harsh, just got to face up to it. I'll never be an artist. I can't paint for bloody toffee. You know what I mean? So I've got to accept I can't paint, so don't be an artist, you know? Okay, right, no problem, Tony.
Roger.
Yeah, go for it, Father. Yeah.
Sorry, with all the results being reported so far, and I'll have a look now at the CFD shares. Most of them are up. May that be an indication that the Dow and the NAS will turn around for a buy?
Very good question. I'll answer this way. Look at the price action on the Dow. The Dow, let's make it 15 minutes. The Dow, not the Dow, sorry, the NAS is, I think, even bigger percentage-wise than the Dow. It's probably our most volatile instrument. Look at that price action. If that was your theory was correct, why is the NAS here and not up there? See my point? Are you with the way I'm thinking? You get my point? Or you see what I'm saying? If that was the likelihood,
Yes.
remember, they're big players. They're very heavyweight players because of the size of them in the NAS. Why is it, if that was the case, they'd be pulling the NAS up with them? It's not happening. So for that reason, the price action tells me not so much. And let's go back to Google or Alphabet or whatever. Where's Google? That had some pretty good news coming out. Didn't seem to affect them. Microsoft was the guy who really took off. Not quite sure why it took off so much. Good news. The others got good news. Why that particularly? That's an emotional unknown, to be honest. That was an enormous bloody jump. But that's what I'm thinking. The NAS is not reacting to these big players. You know what I'm saying? Are you with me on that? What I'm on about there?
Yeah, because I'm confused. If I look at Meta, it's up. Google, it's up. Microsoft, it's up. Intel, it's up. So that is all the tech players that's going up, except Tesla. That's the only one that's drawing it downwards. So
This is not gone.
and I think that's what I'm saying. If I look at the percentage of shares, not at what they represent in the NAS, I would thought that it's supposed to go up, but clearly it seems that it remains in a downtrend, the NAS.
Yeah, okay, well, the downtrend's got some to it, probably. I remember often independent sometimes when the markets close, as in the US share markets close, the NAS is just purely on its own a tradable instrument. But because the spot market's open at the moment, it will affect the NAS because they make up the constituents of the NAS. Those 100, not all tech, by the way, but the majority of tech. Right, let's go back to the Tesla question. That's one player. It's a big player, but it's not bigger than Apple, etc. Now let's look at Microsoft. Big jump, bigger player than Tesla, I might add. Meta, big player. Facebook, big player. Going up a little bit, sure, right? Let's look at Google. Pretty flat, not much. What was the other one? Amazon. What's happening to the other big players? Where's Amazon? Up here. Hey, we'll start with Apple. Apple up a bit. Amazon. Strange, eh? Come off a bit. It's pretty even Steven. So those are big players. They're heavy weighted in there. You know what I'm saying? It's like NASPA's in the old days, the top 40. That made up about 20% of the top 40. If NASPA's went up, the top 40 would clearly go up because it's big enough to drag it with them. But look at the NAS. Those are big players in the NAS. What's happening with the NAS? Bugger all. I think it's basically a jump on a bit of good news. The overall momentum, the fear out there in the international markets, approaching like recession, markets overcooked, interest rate problems because of inflation, and yet again, they can't put up too much because of the banks are going to start closing for foreclosure loans, which is going to give them problems. That's been battled out. So it's jumping a little bit, then the sellers are coming in. No, sell the rally. But I think those shares will cool down after the flurry of good news. You're feeling a really good mood. You went long on Microsoft. You just banked the profit. You're feeling the right good mood. Let's rub our hands. What else? Let's go and buy Apple. No, take a step back. That was a bit of good news. Open up your bells or open up your silver malt. Enjoy it. But the situation hasn't gotten away. We're living in a world of $300 trillion debt where we have a $100 trillion GDP worldwide. Our debt is out of control. It still is a problem out there. Let the thing run. And if you can get, I wouldn't be joining it now, but if you can get a better price, I prefer above 30,000, which I clearly hope we can get there. I'm short already. But for your sake, I hope it gets there to get a short on. I might jump up, and I would say, yeah, it looked like it could. My problem is the price action is not reacting to those big players you just mentioned. That's why I would say don't get cute on it. Does that make sense, Fandi and Marnie and all the others? Are we on the same page with what I'm thinking here?
Yes,
That's
thank you, Roger. I was just thinking of maybe putting a buy limit in say 12,900 or 12,895 or something, and or a sell limit. Sorry, or sell limit
Okay.
and just ride it down. I mean, then you
Okay.
get into the market at a good price.
I couldn't agree more. Right, I couldn't agree more, except for one thing. Let's go to the daily. This has been holding this sort of level here, 32,250. That's pushing it a bit. Yeah, you want to stop really above, make it 3150 as your stop. So if you're happy to go in with a 12.9 or a 12.950, i.e., what's that, 12 month 200 pip stop, fair enough. If you want to go to 12.9, then it'll be a 250 pip stop. Very affordable on the micro, not so much on the normal, but on the micro, it's not. We do it. We do it. Let's do the bloody thing. Sorry if some guys get confused because we're trying to answer these questions. Don't all run away and say I'm too overwhelming, I'm giving up. Please, Claire and company, we need to answer these questions. We'll go back to base to help everyone. Okay, right. We'll get it. What do you want? Make it 12,950. Okay, 12,950 you mentioned. 12,950 is your entry. Make it 13,150 is your stop. 13,150 is your stop. We should make it 12.5 is your TP. That'll do. Clearly get a risk reward, no problem there. And that stop, you might want a little bit wider there, just up the way there. If you want to put it up there, you probably could maybe even put it up here. You'll get a risk reward. Well, then put your TP down there if you must. Even that might be slightly safer. You know what I mean? And it's only still on the micro, it's 50 bucks a micro. Sure, your reward's 100 bucks, which is peanuts, but it means it affords you to get in. You know what I'm saying? And then you can extrapolate from that. Saying, all right, 50 is bloody nonsense. I would want to risk 250. Well, then put in 0.05. You get the idea. But it might be an idea if you want to do a sell limit. Instead of waiting to get to 30, which you might not and you miss it, 12.9, 12.950 is fine. No problem there. And because on the micro, you can afford a very wide stop, as long as your TP makes it worth it.
I like it. I'm going to do the pending here. I think the probabilities here is 80%, roughly.
I'm happy with that as well. I'm going to be more conservative, say 75, but it doesn't really matter. I'm just picking, what do you call it, being picky there. But yeah, I'm happy with that. Sorry, but I hope other guys are picking some of this up. I'm going to answer the questions as they come in from all sorts, you know what I'm saying? So I'm sorry if some guys think, what the hell's going on? I'm a bit overwhelmed. Don't run away, stick with us. You will be not overwhelmed, just stick with us. Okay. If you run away at the first hurdle, it's like you just got married and you have a bit of an argument, you get divorced. No, you've got to stay silent for the longer run. Okay, I hope we're good with that. Okay, all good.
Sorry, my apologies on all that I jumped in while Roger was talking, but thanks, Roger. I needed this confirmation.
Yeah. If it was vitally important, I'd say, sorry, Fanny, wait on. 90% of the time, I'm just waffling on or something, and then you come in, not a problem, that's fine. And quite frankly, add to the trading room, my opinion, so I'm happy with that. Anyone that contributes to trading, it's good stuff. Ken and company like that, it's very important. People just sit back, hope it's going to pour into their head. No, not going to happen. Write it down, ask the question, we'll get there. Don't come paper, whatever, don't react like that. We'll do it, we'll get there. I keep to bring up Marnie all the time, I'm probably get embarrassed with this. If Marnie can get there, all right, she's obviously clever, but I mean, you're not brilliantly clever. You do it a month, it means she stuck it out and using a bit of common sense and discipline. And you can see it doesn't take 4 years to do this. You know what I mean? But it'll take you 20 years if you don't get your head around the basic emotional concepts. That's the point. If you don't know you've got a cocaine addiction, nobody can help you. That's the sort of thing. That's exactly it, yeah. That's correct. Like we often have it here, Marnie, where somebody will say, euro dollar, I think it's a short, and they'll say, no, I think it's a long. We'll put them both down. We got George, Mary, and Anne going for the long. We got obviously myself, I decided on the short for whatever reason, and we got Bill and Sue going for the short. We see how they work out. It's encouraging people with different opinions. It's not a dictatorship where we disagree like Saddam Hussein, we take you out and shoot you with a bullet in the back of your head job. No, I can learn as well. I missed it. By the way, that stop you WhatsApp me. Thank you. I had something like ridiculous stop at 888850 or something, which should be 8850 without the decimal point. I adjusted it. Thanks very much, Ronnie. But that's how we help.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I might have noticed it later on, but I'm not looking for all the bloody time. And I think, why was I stopped out? Yeah, the stop is not in this bloody solar system, it's in the Andromeda galaxy.
I would love to know what your risk reward would have been on that.
I think it was about 2,850 to 1 risk reward. Yeah. If you hit my TP, if you hit the stop loss, I think I'd be margin call if I had the 100 million. I think even Tesla would be margin call with that kind of stop loss. Yeah. Yeah, the decimal point has certainly an important place in the mathematical life. Forget it at your peril. Okay, good stuff. Right. Anything happening on that CHF JP now? Why now be chit-chatting away? Let's have a look. Let 15 get a better picture of it. Hovering around there. Well, we'll just have to see. AUD CAD, is it starting to pull back? We obviously hope it will do. Hovering, might pull back. Euro GBP, any progress on this one? Hovering. Look at this, hovering, up, down, hovering. The news that came out today earlier on, durable goods, didn't make much difference to the market, don't worry about it. Tomorrow, it's a holiday, I won't be doing trading room like that tomorrow. And Friday morning, I'll do the trading room, no afternoon session. Monday, no trading room, back on normal on Tuesday. We got the Easter and the April holidays, late April holidays out of the way to go back to normal. That's fine. Don't forget, if you're trading tomorrow, which I certainly will be in, just remember the weekly jobs report and check your economic calendar and see how that goes. And then remember, next Friday, not this one, the next Friday, don't forget, join me. If you got Tom, if you haven't got any money or you haven't got on a demo, don't bother. But if you've got some bucks in your account and you want to do it, when I say bucks, maybe a couple of grand upwards, not 50 bucks, you know what I mean? Do it properly. And then we'll show straddle trade. Actually, we've got a moment now, it's a bit quiet. We'll do quick on the straddle trade. Right. If I'm going to bore you guys like Franny and Anna Marie, I do beg your pardon. But just I'll try to just go through it quickly. I prefer the guys to be prepared. And quite so, I want to entice them to join me, okay, on the Friday week at 2 p.m. I'll start doing a morning session and I'll do a 2 p.m. session Friday, but no 4 o'clock one. I'm doing this as an extra to help people make a buck or two, hopefully, on the non-farm payrolls. And I'll do one as well on the CPI US, not CPI pound, US CPI, not PPI, US CPI, just the 2 per month. Right. It's coming up to 2:30 on Friday afternoon. We'll wait for the data release, the big news, okay? So what we do is use the euro dollar. This is what we do. Let's see now. We go to the euro dollar and you work out your volume. Clearly, you won't pretend. Well, let's pretend it's 0. Whatever. Make it, whatever your volume is, I'll put 0.05, something like that. Maybe, what have I done there now? You work out your volume, 0.05. You should all be able to do that by now. And then you're going to do a pending order, and you're going to start off with a buy stop. You only put this at about 3-4 minutes before the release. We don't get either one of your pending trades to be triggered before the release. That's the last thing you want. Why does this keep happening? Let's do it again. If you haven't got the position size calculator, go to the live chat and what am I doing? Sorry. If you haven't got the position size calculator, go to the live chat and get it from technical support. Okay, Eurodollar. Did the wrong thing there. Do it properly now. Right. Market execution, pending order, buy stop. Right. You put in the volume. You choose your volume, what you're comfortable with. I'll put in 0.05, what the hell. And then you're going to put a price. Price will be 10 pips above the market. That is the buy price. That's the sell. So 10 pips above this one. So you put in 1.1060. Is that right? 60. Okay. And then you click place the order. Bang. So see it there. I'm going to knock it off in case it gets there because I don't want to do that. Then you go back to Eurodollar and then you go for market execution, nada. You go to the placed order, which is a pending order. Sorry, beg your pardon. Sell stop. And that's going to be 0.05 and your price is going to be 10 pips below the market. In this case, it's going to be 1.1039. Then you place the order. Right, there it sits. You don't do it half an hour in case one gets triggered. You want them both to be open until the 2:30 release. We don't know what's going to happen. Even if it's higher than expected, it might have an opposite effect on what the traders think the results are. Inflation comes with a lot of variables. So if it comes out exactly the same, that's the worst possible scenario. If the actual and expect exactly the same, that is the worst possible scenario because then the market gets confused. It wants to have a differential. So let's say it's a big difference between the between the expected and the actual. You often see it shoot in one direction. Let's say it shoots up in that direction, hits this, and you're in the market up there. Before you do anything, there's no stop loss, no TP. You notice that? No SL, no TP. The first thing you do is you go here and you delete it. Right click on your line and delete it. Get rid of it and then run. If it's going up nicely, then you can maybe put a stop loss in below or around market, depending on the speed of the move. It's a big differential. It should have a big move. And then just ride it up. You can even modify your stop by doing this all the time. You get the idea. You cancel this one, etc. Or, example, let's say the opposite occurs. It hits this one, you immediately get, there we are, delete that one, get rid of that one, and then, because this is taking us right down here, and then you can say, right, put a stop loss in, quite simple, you get the stop, you have to put a stop loss in, and then maybe at the market and run it down. If you can see it there, just drag it down with it till you eventually stopped out, or you get too nervous, you take the profit. That's the straddle trade. Have you got that, Marnie and company? Nikki, have you got that? Have you guys got that? But not, please don't join me if you got about 500 rand in your account. That's not going to cut it. You need, because we only can get 100 people, and there's guys out there who've got the time, want to make use of this. Guys who've got basically tiny amounts, don't have enough to make use of it. You've got a proper bounce to do this. Come in and been fine. We've done a few of them, and they've been profitable on expectation. One that's different to expectation, you're going to see things fly. I'm serious. I've seen 150 pips made on opening. Bang! Shoots down. Let's say on this one triggered, 150 points up. It jumps around a bit, sure. Let it run, and you can go for a very happy Friday afternoon. I know you've got it, Anne-Marie. You've done it before. You got it, Marley. Is there anything difficult about the mechanics on that? It's pretty straightforward. I'll go through it again at 2 o'clock on Friday, just to bring you guys in on it, because we get a pretty full house on it. But please don't do what some do. Join half an hour late and want to explain it. So I'm just about to open. If you can't come on time, haven't got time to explain it, you miss out. Or don't put it 30 seconds before. Can I put the order in now? Well, you won't have time. You'll put in the buy. We can't get the sell stop in. It worries me, this. Do you know what I mean? I'll be honest, it worries me. I don't, what can you do? You know what I mean? You've got to use a bit of gumption here. So come in on time, try and come in on time. Don't understand the mechanics and do it again until you do. When it comes nearer 25+2, forget it, mate. If you don't know it, then come to another one. Don't try and get cute on it because we've got to stop then. The guys are going to place the order in and then we wait for the release of the figures. And then we can chat about afterwards and have a little chit chat afterwards when it's all calmed down. Hope we're all good with that. Okay, shame, Nikki. Hope you're going to come back again. Hope you're enjoying it, learning stuff. Don't run before you walk. There's a bit of a roll with this one. Yeah, it'll be a non-farm every month, a CPI every month, plenty more. You know what I'm saying? If you miss that trade, there'll be more coming. Don't worry. Okay, we'll help you. Fair. Does that make sense? Anybody, any questions on that? Festus, Juan, one ask Ken if he's been around.
I'm good. I'm good for now.
Okay, you're good with that. Good. Claire, got the idea? Anyone want to go run it by again? And this has got trade ideas. This is really for non-farm payroll day, but just we've got a quiet moment. We've had a bit of discussion. Try and help you on that. You're good with that. Okay, so we're all good with it. Good. If you're frightened to say I'm not good and don't understand, you're going to be frightened to take high risk market. You've got to put your hand up and then you can learn. Okay, I'm just going to leave these so I don't want to get them triggered suddenly. That trade level's there. If you want them to show, you click on there. If you don't want to show, click on there. Now they won't show. Like if I go to the NAS, see what I mean? Go to the NAS. I'm not on the micro, so I'm going to show this one here. And I do this, trade levels, they should appear. Why are they not appearing? Didn't hit 30,000. Oh, because on the 15-minute, you dickhead. Why is it not showing? Oh, there it is. Okay. Right, there you are. See, if you want to get rid of them, see, I'll give you an example. That's me entry, that's my stop loss. I'm going short. So if that clicks, I'll make a profit. You get it? But I'm not moving any closer, and it's on the NAS, that's over 100 pips away. And even that's fairly close, because it was originally down at 12.82 or something earlier on. I think it's better than that, actually. Down at 12.8 1 or something like that. So I moved it on that basis. I'm leaving it there. If it goes down any further, I'll modify again. I'm leaving it there. Get the idea? See, there's still over 100 pips, what's 100 pips away now as we speak. But you get the idea. Okay. Good. All good. Thanks, Claire. Good stuff. We've only got a few people left now. We've all got rushed off load shedding or didn't understand. NK, great stuff. Good to have you here. Do you understand all that now?
Roger,
Yep.
just before we knock off, WTI, you looked at the inventories that came out. It's
Yeah, I've got
much worse than expected.
Okay.
Is it good for a buy?
If it's
Those levels?
worse, supply and demand means it's good for a buy. It should force it up, number one. Number two, this 50 days holding, technically speaking, like your idea here. Number three, the Saudis this month are talking about decreasing production. So that should help its course. It's come down. They don't want it too low. They don't want it too high either. And it's come right down here. Where can you put the stop? Let's do the day. Let's crunch it a bit. Not a bad idea. Thank you. Make it $4. Where's $4? Down this sort of level here. That's about 73. Make it 73 stop. Okay. Where can we take it? Up here. That's 4. It's not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. I have to do is tight stop. I want to take it here. That's 6. Just about cut it. Just about. Okay. See your point. Just pushing it a bit. Maybe we can make the stop 73.25. Where did that put it? And then the TP we can put up, make it up here to stretch you 83. Stretching it a bit, to be honest. But if you modify it, then get there, never mind. As long as you modify, protect, but not too quick, eh, guys? You can just about squeeze it there. Squeeze a little bit tighter. Down here? No, we can't. Pity. Okay, I'll put it below this guy here. There we are. That should do it. So there you are. Yeah, I agree with you. Simple as that. No more, no less. We can look at the weekly, but it doesn't tell us much difference. Just looking at the reason you gave is good enough. And the technicals aren't exactly against that either. The price action is what the buyer and seller are doing. We're getting a bounce as we speak on the 4 hour. What a pleasure. I like it. Yeah, I agree. Who likes this one? Silence. Who likes this one? I agree. Anna Marie likes it, and she's not one to jump into the deep end. That's a good sign, guys. Barney suggested it, so clearly you like it. He's going to like it. I certainly like it. Marnie likes it. Down it's going. WTI, a Farney trade. One of my greatest talents to pitch somebody else's thunder. Yeah? And if it goes wrong, it's the other guy's fault. It's done me good stead in life, that actually.
Everything is acceptable, my friend, for a nice scotch.
Well, I'll tell you what the real reason behind that, Farney, is because I'm sick of trading and I want to be a politician. So I'm to get some practice in here. Sorry,
As long as you keep your surname and don't change it to
Got to be careful here, but you. $60, good enough. We'll discuss it tomorrow on the trading along the price action. It's such that the ship hasn't sailed. We'll have a look again tomorrow in the trading to be sent out to everybody else. But yeah, I like it. Okay, guys, there it is. Got to think. That's called going into the holiday trade. It better come right. I've got Farney's name and address if it loses. If it wins, I'll give you my address to send me the bottle of single malt. I think that's the only fair way to do it.
You're a chancer.
Oh, I'm a chancer, big time, my friend. There you are, guys. The guys that hanged on to the trade room. Here's a trade for you. And don't tell me I want it, but I haven't got enough bloody capital. No free margin. Don't forget, guys, you guys, make sure you got enough free margin. If you can't have enough free margin, you can't go for the trade. If you have about 10 rand free margin in your account after taking the trade, the likelihood of being margin called is very high indeed. Doesn't matter where you put your stop. If you run out of free margin, your biggest trade that's open will be closed. And it staggers me. There's guys in there that put 50 rand in their account and wonder why they can't enter a trade, or when they do on a gold 0.01, just or a micro 0.1, they can squeeze it in, moves, and then we close their trade for them. Why did they do that? Nowhere near their stop loss. And I said, because your margin call. Don't tell me about that. I know my trading. Well, if you're a successful trader and the best you can is $50, I question your credibility. You know what I mean? Don't be margin call. Sorry, fine. I shouldn't be saying this. Some of my frustration is starting to creep in a bit.
Yeah, that I'm not really commenting on that because I have a tendency of overexposing myself as well.
Yeah, I'm
just
afraid
like doing nice trades.
Yeah, finally, I'm afraid to say I have a bad habit of that. That's why I was off a week or so ago, because they sent me to jail because I'd overexposed myself in the middle of the street, and they said it's illegal. So yeah. Again, all these things are quite normal. I don't care whether you're a bloody quantum physicist. It's all quite normal when one starts. Stop loss too close, riding the losses, grabbing the profits too quick, overexposing, trying to get to, because when we don't know something, we're out of control. Nobody likes to be out of control. You're out of control. That's why you want to grab that knowledge in 5 seconds, so you're back in control. It's quite an understandable reaction. The problem is sometimes, even if you're brilliant, it takes a little bit longer than 5 minutes to get that knowledge back in again. And that's why you have to try and build up some trust basis, what I'm trying to do here. And it doesn't help when you get so much BS on social media. Have you seen them all there? Showing copies there of their screenshots there, all in blue. Look what I did today and all that. Yeah.
And I think they better in photoshopping than trading.
Yeah, we'll go back to when they did have a good run. I don't know, but yeah, probably. I don't know. I don't know what to do, but yeah. But anyway, yeah. But trust me, they don't put on the reds; they only put it on the blues. And look how well I did. Today, and don't need much, and only can start with $10 and all this sort of thing. Yeah, it's and then these guys go under, like JP Morgan and Tosser, and all these guys go under, and it affects the entire industry. You know what I mean? And I'm sort of waving the flag, please, guys. It's frustrating. They go to, oh, we don't like our spreads, go somewhere else. Yeah, come join me. Just have to look into it. Are they FSCA rated? Have they got an FSP license? Is the guy trading your behalf? Is he licensed to do so? By the way, talk about that. The pound's been stopped. Okay, in my opinion, thank bloody goodness. The pound has been stopped, and that should save a lot of grief. Okay, so just so you know.
Okay, so on our platform, nobody will trade again on your behalf.
That's correct. The PAM, you had to have an account overseas because the guys trading were not, you need what's called a category 2 license to be able to trade on somebody else's behalf. In Botswana, where it's headed, there's no regulations at all there, no ombudsman or anything. So they could do it on that basis. And then the affiliate guy will come along, affiliate, I think you are one, come along, so I'll trade on your behalf, no problem at all. And there's no repercussion on it, but clearly they don't really know enough. And it backfires, and then the guys get fed up, and it's a bit of a bad name. And the fallout is not good. So thank goodness they decided to stop it. Anyone do it? Hey, fine, you could go up and say, right, trade, right, you're fairly, you do it for a while. But the guys just started to come up and say, right, I'll trade on your behalf, no problem at all. And there's no comeback. So basically, they gave it a go, hoped it would work, and some were actually quite good. Some were experienced guys in there, to be fair. To be honest, one or two or three of them were quite experienced, but they still, even experienced, held on to the position, in some cases overexposed, but more the problem, operating by the stop loss, and mainly lost on the NASDAQ when he was up in the 15,000 mark, still bullish, without a stop, fall off, it's bound to bounce. And these experienced guys, some have been trading for a while, should know better, and it still came back. You've got to accept it's not a bull anymore, it's a bear. And it still held on, and that was the problem. Trading without a stop loss can be very damaging, very dangerous.
No, I tend to agree. I don't want the responsibility of other people's money on my back, and I'm not a good politician. I call a spade a spade.
Well, you probably clearly know me as well. I'm a bit of a spade. So there's a big joke about politician. I last 5 seconds. I'm too spade type myself. But yeah, the responsibility of doing it on someone else's behalf is immense. And so you're really very confident in your own abilities to be able to do it. And this is the issue. And it backfires to them as well. And you start getting really nasty calls, and someone really got some nasty, understandably. And looking at some of it, I don't go into too much detail here, but certainly not itemize anybody, that's highly wrong. But some of them, what are you supposed to be bloody doing here? I mean, a couple of days, Marnie would know better. She's only doing it about a month. Well, why are you trading like that, overexposing, no stop loss, holding on. And I don't know, it's just the sort of things you do when you've been trading for 2 or 3 days, not supposed to have a few years behind you. And a lot of promises. You see them again on Instagram, future billionaires, I'm a budding billionaire, this sort of nonsense talk, it all sounds great, rah, 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 you know what I mean? And then when it came down to it, they didn't seem to be able to back it up with much knowledge. And I know there's a lot of cowboy outfits out there. The guys are doing all sorts of things, even over here in this town here, who are unregulated to do it. And it's check out the broker, check out the regulated, go to the FSCA, go to what I think that's the website it is or whatever it is, and then check out it's got an FSP and all the rest of it. Doesn't mean to say this is you've got the license, you know what the hell you're doing. You know what I mean? But at least some legality behind it. Because especially when you get a situation in South Africa where you've got so much unemployment, increasing desperation, you get people who will make any kind of outlandish statement because they're desperate. You know what I'm saying? So just got to be careful of that.
No, you're absolutely right. It's just amazing. There was a person contacted me on Instagram asking me how am I doing, what is my winning percentage daily, and I said, sorry, I only calculated every 2 weeks up to a month. Then she responded, I will show you where you can do it daily, minimum 2%. Just join my group.
Okay, right. First of all, guaranteed you never traded, whoever this person is. And number two, 2% a day on a 200-day a year is 400% a year. Anybody out there know an investment can give you 400% a year? If they can, please tell me with a proven track record. I'll stop this immediately. I'll bond my house, I'll bond everything I've got and bung it in there. 400% a year. That's what 2% a day is.
Roger, is this type of BS that are getting people, everybody that wants to trade and to make a quick buck. That is a big issue.
The problem is actually not the BSer, it's the client. The client wants something for nothing. They're not thinking, they're not doing the basic thought. You don't know me from a bar of soap and I'm promising the world. Why would I do that? If I had the world, why would I promise you a stranger? I'd rather promise my wife or my kids or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And number one, number two, I wouldn't be telling you about it anyway because I discounted the market. If I invented the cell phone now, the smartphone it is now, I'd keep that pretty quiet and keep it very limiting. And then you'd be happy to pay several $100,000 for it. That'd be the value. So you're only paying $5 or $6 grand now for it because it's sort of circulated, it's discounted in the market. That would be another point. So a person making that statement would not be able to make it. Number one, well, they can make it for a trader, but anyway. But the point is, they will not be regulated. That's why the guys often come to me and say, help me, I want to get this crown ball, help me. So be very careful. I don't know what you said to them, but I've got exams I passed. Honesty and integrity is one of them, and I could be had up, you know. So the ombudsman could come after me. So I'm going to tell that person the truth. If you promise them 2%, I'm going to tell you the chances of that on a continued, consistent basis is, well, at first, I've never seen that before. Someone's done it, well, I haven't heard of them. You know what I mean? I haven't heard anyone's done that on a consistent basis. Might have done it for a month or two. You know, you can double your money on the red if it comes up in the roulette system. That's 100% in 2 minutes. Is it going to be consistent? If it was, we'd all be there. But I can't say that, so I don't want to screw your sale up. You know what I mean? So I can't get involved in that. Because they say, honestly, the guy said 2% a day. Is that really strongly likely realistic? I can't say yes, it is. And then, you know what I mean? So that you get the point. So that person guaranteed probably never traded and not regulated. Their interest is getting a commission. It's as simple as that.
No, but Roger, I cannot do daily my calculations at 12 o'clock at night, whatever the case may be, and said, all right, today I've made again another 2% because you get your drawdowns. And even if you listen and looked at Squat Box or whatever, the big fund managers, they reckon you get drawdown quarters, you get good drawdown half, 2 quarters. I mean, it's ridiculous to think every single day you will be up by 2%. Maybe on average it's different, but not on a daily basis.
Well, it's complete nonsense, clearly. You know what I mean? I mean, today you made 0.5%, yesterday you lost 2%, but at the end of the month, you're up 5%. Well, a pleasure, you're on track. I always look at about 4 or 5% a month over a consistent basis, up 10 one, up 25 another, down 5 another on a consistent period of time. But say you're going to make 2% a day, it's impossible. Today you might make 5. Tomorrow you might make half. We've had 2 or 3 losing trades, half a dozen winning trades. Absolutely. No, clearly I personally think you can do it properly without the BS. I've been in sales. If you know your product, you don't have to do that. But if you don't know your product, or you can't take the trouble to know your product properly, then you've got to do that because you don't have enough product knowledge to do it. Just hope the person sitting in front knows even less than you do. But anybody like yourself, Farney, or now Claire after a month, Claire, Marnie after a month, someone comes speaks to them on that basis, that she'll make a fool of them, you know what I mean, unless she's very polite. Or if they come to me and I'll ask them some awkward questions. I did that once actually. It was about 10 years ago. I knew a bit about the marks and I was selling the learning product. And the guy didn't buy it because the person before said they had 1 million shares in something and they're doing that well, blah, blah, blah. And they said they didn't believe it. I said, well, I can't speak to that person, etc. But I'll tell you that. And he bought off me because he got some idea what the hell I was on about. So it took a time to learn the product. Most of them, to me, it's quite amateurish. They're selling a product they don't think about. I mean, you know, if I'm in the car sales business, I expect the guy to know something about cars, in the sense of a principle. You know? And you don't have to do that. I mean, finally, you want to get involved with this, I can explain it as it is. No, thanks very much. Number one, I've got credibility. Number two, I've got your trust. And number three, well, I can see that. I can make a proper decision and say it makes sense to me. If I come up and say, right, you put in 10 grand, and you have £1 million by the end of the year. If I speak to someone like yourself or Anna Marie, they'll probably think, no, this guy, but I'd be polite. I'll think about, I'll get back to you. Meanwhile, I'll show the guy the door in a polite way. They'll think this is bullshit. Of course it's bullshit. If that was the case, he wouldn't be sitting at your doorstep giving you a sales pitch on it. He'd be in the Bahamas in his luxury yachts, you know what I mean? And why would you put in 10 grand anyway? Why not put in £1 million rand? Then you'd be worth, 100 million at the end of the year. It's just, people don't think. That's really the human being's problem. That's the market's created by the human buyer. You look at the adverts and you think sometimes how ridiculous they are. Well, they're only making them ridiculous because they aren't daft. It's because the people are buying the BS. If the people didn't buy the BS, they wouldn't be fed it. You know what I'm saying? And that's another point, Marnie. That's a big time. Every time I've got to trouble with people in my life, it's always because I said it as it is. They don't want to hear it. Everyone said the Polish bullshit. Trust me, the Polish would not last in that job if they didn't. I remember years and years ago, there was a captive industry who went to become a politician because he thought he'd be able to be better for the economy. And he went in without understanding, you got a bullshit, unfortunately, and he said it as it is. And his ratings plummeted. You know what I'm saying? It's our own fault. We blame everybody else, but it's our own fault. Yeah? Will I make 500% a year? No, you won't. They'll go find George who says, yes, you will, no problem. So go and buy off George, you know what I mean? Absolutely, man. It gets me into trouble. I get carried away. I like to be professional about it and do it properly. But yeah, and it ends up in disappointment because the poor guy who's got limited sums anyway, at least can afford it, is the one's going to get trapped because they're making out outlandish, ridiculous. I mean, I always say like the car. It's a nice car, but it's not a James Bond car. It can't fly and it can't be a submarine at the same time. And it can't outdo a Ferrari. But let's say this car can fly, it can outspeed a Ferrari, it can be a submarine, and it's going to cost you the same as let's say, a second-hand old Volkswagen. Yeah. Frustrating, yeah.
Yeah, it's very true. Uncle Raj,
Yeah.
thanks a million for the all the knowledge transfer. I need to run. Have a good one. See you Friday morning.
Fantastic,
And
guys.
the rest of the traders, enjoy it. Rest
Absolutely.
well.
Absolutely. Great stuff. Catch you Friday morning. Good stuff. Cheers, guys. Thanks, Ed.